Are you familiar with the expression, "you can't jump over your head"? This is a misconception. A person can do anything. Nikola Tesla is the one who thinks he can. The Buddha. It's time to stop waiting for unexpected gifts from life and make life yourself. Lev Nikolaevich Tolstoy. So, money every morning. Money. How do you pronounce this word? What kind of feeling does it cause you? Do you like to pronounce this word, or do you feel uncomfortable? Do you try to pronounce the word money as little as possible, as if hinting, replacing it with other words or vague phrases? Tell me the money right now. Listen to your voice, it sounds confident. I'll tell you a story. Recently, I was driving a car and heard something that struck me. I think you know this style when people call a radio station and ask to give a song to their loved ones. Mother-in-law congratulates son-in-law on his birthday, wishes him well, happiness, health. Her voice sounds cheerful, joyful, and suddenly there is a pause. And then, ingratiatingly and shyly, "and more money." People want to have more money than they have now, but, at the same time, they are embarrassed about it. They are embarrassed even by the desire to have more money. People consider money to be something shameful, unworthy of a good person. And now, I have a question for you. Why do you need money? In fact, it is not the money itself that is needed, but what they give you. The opportunity to realize your dreams, the opportunity to spend more time with family and friends, the opportunity to live as you like. Very often, people associate information with a rich success. I was lucky to be born into a rich family. I won the lottery. Nature endowed me with talents. I was in the right place at the right time, and $1 million fell from the sky there. Do you really believe that you can get so rich? For more than 20 years, I have been studying what leads to success. And you know what? There is no magic secret of how to become happy, successful, and rich. But there is still something that others don't know. For myself, I called it the principles of success. I have been looking for these principles for a long time. I collected them literally bit by bit. I wanted to understand how those who have achieved wealth and prosperity think and act. As a result, I got 12 principles of success. I have thoroughly tested each principle in my life. I applied them myself and taught those who were nearby. It is thanks to these principles that a simple boy from a small military town became a multimillionaire, and thousands of my friends, employees, colleagues, and followers have gained financial independence. I will share with you this unique knowledge and personal experience. Thanks to these principles, you will be able to achieve real success on your own, without any training or mentors, in just 1 year. How does it work? You will get a simple and clear action plan, which consists of 12 steps. Mastering just one principle every month, in a year, you will not recognize yourself. Moreover, you will not have to wait for the first results for a whole year. As soon as you start acting, you will immediately notice an improvement in your life. Ready to get started? Then get acquainted with the first principle. We know who we are, but we don't know who we can be. William Shakespeare. The principle is the same. Me. Mr. Schwarzenegger, you have achieved incredible success in sports. You have achieved incredible success in cinema. You have achieved incredible success in politics. What is personal success for you?
I think success basically means that you're accomplishing your goals.
I think success means achieving your goals. I think each of us has certain ideas about what we want to do in life. Some people have big goals, like me. Other people have small goals. When you have goals, and you achieve them, it's important. This means success. This means that you are a successful person. It doesn't matter if you achieve big goals, it's important that you achieve the goals that you set for yourself. Then you are successful. How do you feel when you suddenly find out that someone you know well earns more than you? Your answer shows how honest you are with yourself. Do you feel joy for your friend? Let's be honest. Maybe it's envy, resentment, anger, disappointment. But in society it is not customary to give such answers, and we pull fake smiles and hypocritically congratulate others on their success. This is how we get used to deceiving ourselves over and over again. This is not our only habit associated with a way of thinking that does not allow us to achieve what we want. Now you will understand why. Some tend to look outside for the reasons for their bad luck. They think they are unlucky, they're not appreciated, and life in general is unfair. But in fact, our thoughts at once, our ideas about ourselves, and the world around us play a key role in our success. If you have not yet achieved what you want, then you suffer from the way of thinking that is inherent in losers. And now, I have a question for you. How do you feel about difficulties? How do you act under stress? What are your habits? Everything you have today is the result of your thoughts the day before yesterday and actions yesterday. Our thoughts determine our actions, and already actions give results. If you don't like the results, then the only way to get what you want is to change where it all starts. Think about this. When you were born, you didn't have your own opinion about money, as well as about other things. We learn from others. We see and hear how money is treated in our environment. And since we don't know anything else, we consider it all true. We take this point of view on faith, and ourselves also begin to relate to everything that concerns money, wealth, and prosperity. So, your idea of money gives you certain, quite specific thoughts. These thoughts lead you to certain very specific actions, and as a result, you get a predictable result in advance. Now you need to pay maximum attention to what I will say next. If you want to get what you don't have, then you need to start doing what you've never done. You need to understand that it is impossible to get a different result by doing what you have been doing all this time. Once you realize this, you will be able to change your approach to life and become as successful a person as you want. Do you doubt that this is so important? Do you think it's something else? Is life unfair to you and does not give you what those who are lucky have? Stop deceiving yourself. We all live in the same world, under the same conditions. There are those who are unlucky and those who succeed. This is because some have developed the psychology of poverty and scarcity, while others have the psychology of wealth, abundance. And everyone sees what his consciousness is tuned to. Now, I will tell you the secret of the successful and the rich, but first, I want to ask you something. What do you do when you pass by expensive shops? Are you looking at the showcases with interest? Do you have a desire to come and to try on new watches, suits, jewelry? Or are you passing by quickly? The vast majority of people are embarrassed by such stores. If they happen to be in an expensive boutique, they feel extremely uncomfortable in it. People think they don't deserve it. They have convinced themselves that they are not worthy of such expensive things. And you know what? Only they themselves think so and no one else. This is a person's own idea of what kind of standard of living he deserves. Someone sincerely believes that all the best should belong to him, and someone is ready to be content with little. It all comes down to your own belief about what you deserve. All successful and rich people are sure that they deserve the best. That's why they get the best. You are no different from them, so you also deserve all the best. To do this, you need to find the courage to wish for the best. This is the right to a new one from birth. I communicate a lot with different people, and of course, as a rich man who created his fortune from scratch, I am asked a question about how to get rich. And now I'm going to tell you an amazing thing that I noticed. Actually, they don't want their incomes to grow significantly either. The very people who seem to be so thirsty or become rich, leave everything as it is and do nothing to change their lives for the better. Internally, they're not ready for this. It scares them. It's nice for people to dream about it. They like to live in illusions that this is possible. And at the same time, they themselves do not really believe in this possibility. Your life can be incredibly rich, abundant, and beautiful. But, Often we ourselves are not ready to go further after we have reached a certain level of comfort. And all this because of their own limiting beliefs. It's time to change the attitude towards yourself. You are the winner. You were born a winner, and it's time to admit it. You deserve the best you can imagine. Yes, it is you. Your beliefs that life is difficult, unfair, imposed on you. They're not really yours. They belong to your parents, teachers at school, your friends, anyone but you. At the time, you heard them and accepted them as something true. You can easily give them up. That's the whole point. You have the right to decide what to think about wealth and money. Now the question arises, how to get rid of old negative ideas about life and start thinking in a new way. From now on, replace every negative thought with a positive one. I can't replace it with I can and will. Instead, I won't succeed, say I always succeed. Instead of I do not know what to do, think I always find a great solution. I can't afford it, replace it with I can have anything I want. It's easier than you think. Do you know what often becomes an insurmountable obstacle for those who strive for success? If you say, think one thing, but somewhere deep down you are sure of the opposite, then you yourself do not allow yourself to have what you dream of. Therefore, immediately engage in the formation of your healthy self-esteem. Intensively feed your consciousness with healthy food. You have to choose what you think about, what you read, what you watch, what you talk about. Fill yourself with new knowledge, constantly develop. Watch motivational videos, read useful books, communicate with positive thinking successful people, and persistently apply the principles I'm telling you about in this film. Go to the mirror right now. The person in the reflection is responsible for everything that you have or what you don't have. The life you live and which you are dissatisfied with, you have created for yourself. The great thing is that you are the one who can fix everything. Your success is in your hands. It is better to be the object of envy than compassion. Herodotus Principle to Millionaire. It's time for you to get acquainted with your new reality. Morning, you have opened your eyes. You are very pleased with what you see around you. You didn't wake up by the alarm clock, but when you had a good night's sleep. Take a shower, have breakfast. You are not in a hurry, because you manage your own time. You drink tea calmly and with pleasure. Then you get into a new car that you bought only yesterday. You are in anticipation of something extraordinary. A beautiful day begins. All roads are open. The choice is yours. Forward, towards limitless possibilities. This is an ordinary morning of your new life. It's time to realize this in reality. But there's something you need to know first. Now, I will tell you an amazing thing. Some believe that rich people are scoundrels, and that in order to make a fortune, you need to cheat, steal, betray, and go over your heads, behave unworthily and cruelly. If you think so too, then here's an amazing paradox for you. How can you become a rich man if you hate such people? You don't want to become such a monster and turn your life into hell. It turns out that one part of you wants wealth, and the other actively resists it. Many people are afraid of being rich. They are afraid. I didn't use that word by accident. They are afraid that they will have to pay too high a price for gaining financial freedom. As you understand, even one negative belief about wealth can completely deprive your chances of owning a lot of money. This means that the first thing you need to get rid of the influence of these toxic beliefs of losers, for example, not in the money of happiness. You are absolutely right. But not in wealth, not in poverty. Happiness is a category of a completely different order. Why establish a relationship that objectively does not exist? Money itself is an opportunity for the realization of one's desires. Whether they will bring you happiness or not depends solely on you. It depends on your mood, your attitude, on what you will spend your money on. You can be happy, just as unhappy, both with money and without it. If one doesn't interfere with the other, why don't you be both happy and rich? And how do you like the idea that to become rich, you need to work 24 hours a day? I'll tell you right away, it definitely won't make you rich. I know those who work 3 jobs, and at the same time, barely pay the mortgage. Of course, in order to live well, you will have to work hard. This is an indisputable fact. And oddly enough, in order to maintain at least some acceptable standard of living, you will have to work no less. I'll tell you a secret. It doesn't matter how much you work, but what kind of income your activity brings. By the way, I don't need to comfort you, even if I don't have golden palaces, but I have close people, beloved children, all healthy. Thank you for that. You should have both. And let's be honest. Are families without wealth happy? Stop thinking either. You need both. Of course, you can say, Roman, it's easy for you to talk with your money. Let's clarify this right away. Your success depends entirely on you. What I definitely won't do is persuade you to become rich, happy, and successful. I can teach you. I can show you the most direct way to financial success, but you will have to move on your own. By the way, someone covers up their laziness and short-sightedness by taking care of others. They say that if they get richer, they will take money away from the poor. Let's look at it sensibly. You're not taking anything away from anyone. We are only talking about legitimate ways to acquire wealth, and this means that all the money you earn belongs to you by right. And let me say, if you are rich, then you have much more opportunities and ways to help others. Very often people say that money is evil, and rich people are villains. Aren't you ashamed to be rich? I am very happy that I have money, because if I didn't have money, I couldn't live the way I live now. I wouldn't have the cars I drive, I wouldn't have the opportunity to travel the world and learn a lot, but most importantly, I wouldn't have the opportunity to do charity work. It is very important to give money, to share money. Stop deceiving yourself. Money won't spoil you. They will only emphasize what you already have. And now from words to deeds. Make up your idea of rich people. To do this, collect all possible information. Read biographies of rich people. Watch interviews with them. Fill yourself with the energy of these people. Absorb their worldview. Find something for yourself that you can respect rich people for, because soon you will become one of us. To acquire wealth, you need to attract it into your life. You should be inspired by this idea and filled with it from the inside. That is why you should surround yourself with things that cause you positive emotions. You need to buy yourself as beautiful, high-quality clothes as you can right now. Eat delicious, healthy food from beautiful dishes. Maintain positive thoughts, cheerfulness, and well-being. Communicate with successful people who think like winners. All this will give you the necessary inspiration and the right attitude. Success and wealth come to those who persistently strive for it, who develop the necessary quality in themselves. You can't change the direction of the wind, but you can always raise the sails to reach your goal. Oscar Wilde. Principle 3. Determination. Everyone knows the proverb, their shirt is closer to the body. Like everything brilliant, the meaning of this wise phrase is simple. No one will take care of your interests better than you. Look around. What are people constantly talking about? What is being exaggerated in the media? Healthcare, education, pension, familiar topics. And what do you hear? People are constantly unhappy. Amazing. Does anyone prevent you from reading books or getting additional education in order to become a more in-demand specialist? Does anyone interfere with eating right and exercising in order to be healthy? Unless someone prevents you from creating a personal pension capital that will allow you to live with dignity at a more mature age. The one who chooses the seemingly simple way to entrust his life to others gets the corresponding result. And let me tell you, you made such a choice yourself. You yourself gave your life into the wrong hands. And the most amazing thing is that you can change everything right now. Very often people complain that they were not taught something at school, but they should have. Do you really think that your happiness, your success, your well-being is so important to someone other than you and your loved ones? People are fixated on themselves. They have no time to think about you. The only question is how important your life is to you. The task of a person who strives for success is to become a leader for himself. Trying to dump your problems and responsibility for solving them on someone, you find yourself in a very strange position. On the one hand, you stop taking care of yourself, and on the other hand, you complain all the time that you don't get what you want from your patrons. You have to become the main person in your life yourself. Of course, you will have to work hard for your happiness, and all the mistakes will be yours. Well, all the merits, achievements and results that you will receive are also yours. There is one more important detail. Don't let other people's opinions influence your courage, your attitude, your determination. No one can know what you can achieve, what a great person you can become. You don't know yourself well enough to label yourself a loser and a weakling in advance. Only by acting can you show your true abilities. When you listen to someone else's opinion about yourself and consider it correct, you lose self-confidence. As a result, it is no longer you who lead your life, but other people who lead you, to which opinion you decided to listen. By doing so, you allow other people to dissuade you from your plans, ideas and goals. And in the end, you just stay in nothing, unsure of themselves and exhausted. One of my rules of success: do not listen to what the advisors from the inner circle say. My father used to say, "You're crazy. Why do you want to be the most muscular person? Better go chop wood, be useful to people. Or mine and raise coal. You will become strong because of this." He didn't believe in me. He didn't believe that I could achieve anything. He wanted me to be like everyone else and not have these crazy ideas. My mom didn't support my dreams either. She was worried when I came home during lunch break and did 250 sit-ups. She said, "I'm going to call the doctor because it's not normal. So you'll kill yourself. You train constantly." She didn't believe in me. When I wanted to make films in Hollywood, the most positive people told me, "You won't make it. You have an accent like a Nazi. Your body is too big. Your weight is 250 pounds, and your name is Schwerns, Schnitz or whatever it is. It won't work." In general, everyone told me no, but I didn't care because I knew Arnold knew I would do it. Because I clearly saw my goal ahead and could imagine how I was achieving it. Never doubt yourself, never doubt your abilities. Even if it seems to you that you don't have them, it only means that you don't know about them and don't know how to use them. As soon as you start acting, you will discover a lot of talents that you didn't even know about. Some people think they need someone's support to achieve their goals. Yes, support is good, but the truth is that no one cares about you. So get ready to take the first steps yourself. Well, here's what's interesting. In fact, you already have the support that you need. Those who have achieved success themselves know where to look for the main support and support. You are the most important friend for yourself. You are the main support and support. You have underestimated yourself for many years. You have much more strength, confidence and power than you can imagine. If you really want to become a happy and rich person, then it's time to accept the fact that only you are responsible for your life. To become successful, you have to make a decision to become successful. To become rich, you have to make a decision to become rich. To become a millionaire, you have to make the decision to become a millionaire. When you make a decision to achieve something, then at the same time, you must take responsibility to achieve this goal. Only then will you get what you want. I have often heard people say that they would like to have a lot of money. By saying the words "I would like," you immediately let yourself know that you are not serious and all this is an empty conversation. Do not try, but act in such a way that you need to achieve your goal at all costs. In other words, the only possible outcome is victory. When you act with this attitude and unwavering determination, you always get what you want. Courage is the beginning of victory. Plutarch Principle 4. Courage. Let me tell you something. Once upon a time, my business partner cheated me out of all my money and assets, entrusted me to my loved ones, and threatened my life. I was faced with a difficult choice. On the one hand, I could have started a war, and some part of me wanted it. I am a man, and the officers were hurt by my part of dignity. They threatened my family. I think you understand my feelings. But there was another part of me, cold-blooded and farsighted. I understood that it would lead to nothing but self-destruction. Winning at any cost could completely exhaust me. Revenge could ruin my family's life. What did I do in that situation? You will be surprised, but it takes as much energy to be brave as it takes to be a coward. Constant fears, anxieties, doubts take away a huge amount of energy, and there is almost nothing left for you. Only with courage will you be able to cope with the main enemy of any success. I'm talking about fear, which manifests itself in the form of doubts, indecision, anxious thoughts, uncertainty. These thoughts can be very diverse, but in the end, their meaning boils down to fears. I can't do it, I can't handle it. It is negative thoughts that secretly undermine a person's faith in their own strength, often become the reason that a person does not even want to think that he can achieve success. No matter how brave you are now, courage can be developed. To do this, stick to two simple things. Believe that you are a brave person, and always act as a brave person acts. At every moment, focus all your attention only on winning, and act as if you have already achieved success. Set yourself up for the fact that you can cope with any difficulties. Constantly strengthen your faith in this, and after some time, you will be surprised how your attitude to difficulties will change. As soon as you feel anxious or doubt something, immediately direct your thinking in the right direction, with an effort of will. I will remind you of your goals and why it is important to you. Develop the habit of not thinking about the bad, not allowing yourself to think what if I fail or the like. You need to learn that your attitude to difficulties should change. You must learn not only to overcome them, but also to turn them to your advantage. Now I'll tell you how to do it. So, it's time to talk about a special reaction to difficulties. I call it the winning strategy. I learned this from the great generals. First, don't panic. Never. Never at all. This is the main thing to remember. Collect all the information you can, analyze it carefully, and most importantly, double-check the facts. In fact, the information may turn out to be complete misinformation. Third, think visionarily. Sometimes you have to sacrifice something insignificant at the very beginning, and at the same time, not let yourself be drawn into a long, exhausting war. This way you will save your main resources, money, time, and effort. Carefully plan your actions, while always keeping in mind the goal that you want to achieve. Your action plan should be detailed, but at the same time flexible enough. It is impossible to foresee everything in advance, so you need to have a backup plan. The big mistake that almost everyone makes is to count only on a positive result. When you make plans, you have to be ready for anything. Be a realist, not a dreamer. Take action. Act quickly, energetically, decisively, without hesitation and delay. If something goes wrong, do not persist, further aggravating the problem. Perseverance is a wonderful quality, But stubbornness is the opposite. It is much more effective to rethink the situation, look at it with a fresh eye, and perhaps notice important details that you did not pay attention to at first. This will help you improve your action plan or find a new solution. When I was faced with the choice of starting a war with my ex-partner or giving up everything and starting from scratch, I spent many hours thinking about it. I decided to start all over again, and I was right. All the energy that I could spend on clarifying the relationship, I directed to the creation of a new project. As a result, I have achieved much greater success. I lost the battle, but I won the war. In most cases, it is not the difficulties themselves, but the reaction to them, that becomes the main obstacle to success. Every new day, every hour, every minute, gives you a new chance to win. Always hit with a turn. Even if it seems that there is no chance, hit me. Sooner or later, you will definitely score a goal. The poor man is not the one who has not a penny in his pocket, but the one who has no dreams. Socrates. Principle 5. Goal. Have you noticed that people often complain about their lives? They are unhappy with what they have. Money is the result. Wealth is the result. The desired standard of living is also a result. The result of your thoughts and actions. What you have now is the result of your previous thoughts and previous actions. You laid the foundation for this result, not today, but many years ago. When we talk about wealth and success, we encounter an amazing paradox. Most people have neither financial goals nor plans to achieve them. Of course, without having a clear goal and a clear idea of what we want, we don't get it. It's like getting behind the wheel, starting the engine, and going wherever you want, and so drive for hours. Will you arrive where you wanted to go? And how to understand where you wanted to come? After all, you don't know it yourself. So, Rule 1. In order to get what you want, you have to understand very clearly what you want. And then there is a problem. Many people only understand in general terms how they want to live, and even set themselves some goals, but for some reason they do not achieve them. Has this ever happened to you? It's like going to the gym on Monday. So, how do you learn to achieve the goals that you set for yourself? Surprisingly, you need to start with a dream. What do you dream about? What is your most cherished dream? Now don't think about how real it is. It is the dream that teaches you to think outside the framework and standards. Dreams have no limits. Everything is possible in dreams. When you learn to dream for real, you will see that there is no limit in real life. It is the dream that is the beginning of your success. Nothing will stop a person who has a real dream. As soon as you have a real dream and a burning, irresistible desire to get what you dream about, you have a real goal. Dreams and a clear understanding of what you want are the most important things. It's just that dreams don't matter, because we all dream. You must have a very clear understanding of what you want to achieve. Interestingly, most people can't answer this question. For example, I ask, you are 17 years old, you go to school. Why do you go to school? My parents said I should go to school. That's not the real reason. I'm asking, what do you want to achieve in life, in the future? Even when people go to university, they don't know why. 70% of people don't know why they do it. I feel sorry for them, because I feel like I've been very lucky. Because when I was 15, I knew for sure that I wanted to be a bodybuilding world champion. When I was 10, I understood very clearly that I wanted to be in America. I didn't see myself as an Austrian. I knew I wanted to be an American. Now, having lived in America for 50 years, I feel both Austrian and American. But it was my dream at the age of 10. That wasn't what my father said. He wanted me to become a police officer. My mom wanted me to marry an Austrian girl, and we had 5 children. It was their dreams, not mine. My dream was to live in America. Later, I wanted to become a bodybuilding champion, act in movies, make movies. I didn't care how much effort I had to put into it. I only knew that there were 24 hours in a day, and I was ready to plow, do whatever it took, to make my dream come true. And this hard work made me happy, because I knew that I would come somewhere. Me. Often people make a big mistake. They dream about one thing, and set completely different goals. The dream seems to them so unattainable, that they do not even dare to think about turning it into reality. As a result, they do nothing at all, and continue to vegetate in the swamp of routine and routine. Now you don't need to think about how you will get what you dream of. First, you need to realize what you want. Let it be something incredible, unthinkable, grandiose. Let this dream frighten you with its scale. Let it seem unattainable. This is what is needed. Only then will you be able to be filled with energy that will give you inspiration and strength to achieve it. Say your thoughts out loud, speak loudly and confidently, shout. Start your phrases with the words I want, I can. Then pronounce your thoughts as if they have already been embodied. For example, if you want to become a millionaire, then say I want to be a millionaire, I can become a millionaire. And then proclaim with even more confidence, I am a millionaire. Do it. Put all your soul, all the passion that you are capable of. Nothing should hold you back. Now that you know the ideal you're aiming for, it's time to make it an achievable goal. The goal differs from the dream, in that it is concrete. For example, to become not just rich, but a millionaire, and not ever, but within 5 years. You need to make your goal not just specific, but see yourself as having already achieved it. Imagine the results you will get. Draw it as vividly and figuratively as possible in your imagination. Now you need to focus all your attention on the image created in your imagination. You think about him, constantly returning yourself to the thought of what you want. This condition should become an obsession for you. Now your goal will become a kind of beacon for you. All your thoughts and actions need to be directed in her direction. From now on, concentrate all your attention on her, and only on her. Now you need to break your big goal into small stages, short-term goals. By achieving these short-term goals, you are getting closer to your global goal, step by step. And the most amazing thing is that it no longer seems so colossal and unattainable. You can often hear that it makes no sense to look further than 6 months, at most a year ahead. This is a big mistake. If you think within a few days or weeks, then you set small goals. Before moving on, I will tell you one story that may make you look at your real capabilities in a new way. I get hundreds of comments every day. One of the subscribers wrote that for the sake of an experiment, he saved money every day in a piggy bank. I put it off as much as I could, when it turned out, and didn't look there for about a year. During the year, he accumulated an amount exceeding his monthly income by 5 times. This is how short-term and long-term goals work. Set big long-term goals, and go for them in small, persistent, consistent steps, short-term goals. There's something else you need to know. Often I hear people say, how I would like to have such a yacht, such a car, such a house, or how I would like to become a millionaire. Feel what's the catch? These phrases are full of frustration. They lack at least some belief that what they want is possible. This is not a goal expressed, but a hope. Illusory hopes pull strength out of you, deprive you of energy, waste your time on empty thoughts. With all the seemingly innocuous things, hopes are very dangerous. Feeding yourself with hopes, you live in an illusion, and as a result, you stand still. The goal is a firm decision that you make and are ready to continue to act for its implementation. The goal should be specific. I want to. I will. I will achieve. I can, and I will. Waking up in the morning, ask yourself, what should I do? In the evening, before falling asleep, what did I do? Pythagoras. Principle 6. Action. Do you know what many people think about those who are successful and rich? That they were lucky. How do I know that? They say that about me all the time. I'm going to tell you something now. Listen carefully. Before I got lucky, I did this. We started the business in the 90s. There were no cell phones. You sit on the turntable, dial, negotiate at home, write a list, schedule 10 to 15 meetings a day, and go. Now it is not customary to invite people home. No one invites them. We are all in restaurants and cafes now, and there was no cafe before. There were smelly eateries in which it was impossible to sit from this stench and smoke. Therefore, we did the first results at the client's apartment. It was like that, and there was such a thing that you come, I call, no, no, no. He turned around under the door. Who's next? The next one was personal. I went to the apartments and knocked. I made my sales. I personally started with this. In a day, I had 300 or 400 kilometers on the speedometer of the car. 300 or 400 kilometers run. In a year, I had a car mileage of 60,000 kilometers. Not every taxi driver just drives by. For a year, for 2 years, I drove a car. I drove a new car in 2 years. Like a hunted horse. Next one. To date, I have changed my 50 cars, which I personally have changed. They could not withstand such a load. This is iron. Iron can't withstand as much as a human can. Many people see only the tip of the iceberg, the success that a person has now, and attribute it all to luck, and the colossal work that brought him to this peak. They simply ignore and do not want to notice. This is one of the most popular fairy tales about success. A fairy tale that smart adults believe in. Do you know what happens next? Believing in this fairy tale, they do nothing to improve their lives. They are waiting, they are hoping. That is, they expect to get what they want without doing anything. He does not justify his inaction by the fact that there is always something missing for luck, talents, opportunities, knowledge, support. If only I were younger. If only I could sell well. If only my boss had been kinder to me. And instead of rolling up their sleeves and persistently going to their goal every day, they are in the clouds. They do not want to work systematically for 3 to 5 years to achieve a guaranteed result. They hope that one day suddenly $1 million will fall from the sky to them. My life experience suggests that a much more reliable and realistic way to become a millionaire is to start acting decisively and persistently to achieve this goal. I'll do it. Do you want to become rich and successful? Remember this phrase, I'll do it. Let this phrase become your motto. Most people make a choice in favor of not doing, not making the necessary efforts, not working on themselves, not leaving the comfort zone. The truth of life is that you still have to do something. Choose. You can do what you normally do, and of course the results will also be normal. Or, you will do something new, and it will take you to a higher level. Consciously take an active position, and declare to yourself, I will do it. These simple words have a very big meaning. How do you tell yourself that you are the master of the situation? And after that, you immediately back up your words with decisive actions. Then nothing can resist your mood. This is the attitude you need to stick to every day. Always ask yourself, have I done everything I could? Remember this. One question remains, and what to do? Start with what you can do right now. There is no need to think whether this is the best solution. Just do what you can. As soon as you start taking at least some actions, you will have the first result. And most importantly, new opportunities will begin to open up in front of you, which you could not even think about yesterday. And then the most interesting thing happens. Over time, you begin to better navigate the situation. You get a flair, and this helps you find the most effective solutions and ways to achieve your goal. Most importantly, when you charge for something, always assume that you will succeed. Think and act as if you have already visited the future and seen the results of what you still have to do. You just know that everything will be exactly the way you want, and firmly stick to this attitude. Direct all your thoughts and actions to the work you are doing, Do not be distracted by fears and doubts. Calmly, confidently go to your goal. You will succeed, absolutely. I must warn you that there is one very dangerous trap, and many unknowingly fall into it. When a person begins to do something, especially if he undertakes something new, difficulties arise in front of him. This is a common thing, but this is where the fun begins. A person finds himself in a difficult situation. He needs to make a choice to abandon this venture because it is difficult, or to find a way to cope with difficulties in order to get what he wants. In other words, he needs to make a choice to do or not to do. And so he looks at this situation, assessing his capabilities. He argues as usual that he cannot do it, and of course, chooses the simplest option. Have you guessed which one? Of course, don't do it. It won't work anyway. Those who achieve success think differently. They perceive difficulties as tasks that need to be solved in order to get what they want. They see a goal in front of them and understand that it is always possible to find a suitable solution to achieve it. They are left with no question of doing or not doing because it is so difficult. This means that now you need to develop a firm habit of always asking yourself the question, how can I do this? Focus your mind completely on the task at hand, so you immediately connect your thinking to the search for opportunities. You will start thinking and acting outside the box, and you will definitely find the right solutions. Wow. Look. Wow, handsome. Act with the firm confidence that you can do everything, and you will succeed. Do what needs to be done right now. Do it in the best way, with the full dedication that you are capable of. Use every opportunity, every chance. If you have done at least something to achieve your goal, then you are already closer to it than you were yesterday. It is by starting to act that you will feel for the first time how your labors bear the first fruits. The path to success is a long way, and constant systematic efforts will lead you to the goal. All great achievements consist of small things that you do every day. Remember, every day you have to get one step closer to your goal. The first step should be done by you. Just start acting. One minute decides the outcome of the battle, 1 hour the success of the campaign, 1 day the fate of the empire. Alexander Vasilievich Suvorev. Principle 7 is now. Now I'm going to tell you something amazing. Be careful. They say that a chance is given once, and if you missed it, then there is nothing to count on. I'll tell you a big secret. In fact, the chance is not given to us at all. Opportunities are not looking for us. Have you noticed that many people are always waiting for something to start a new business? They are waiting for the right moment, favorable circumstances, promotion at work, summer, Monday. Yes, they say they want to plan everything carefully. They need to gather their strength, and when they are ready, they will immediately get down to business. And others go step by step to their goal. They do what they need to do every day. And as a result, 10 years later, the former remain dreamers, still waiting for a wonderful chance. And the latter have not only achieved everything they wanted, but have already gone far ahead. While you are waiting for ideal conditions, you are just wasting time. We have to look for and create an opportunity for ourselves. Otherwise, an opportunity missed by one person will be found and realized by another, by those who are bolder, more proactive and faster. Sometimes you need to do something, but you don't do it because you don't want to make decisions. It seems that doing nothing like this and waiting, by the way, it is unclear what is a good way out, but somewhere inside you feel that you are deceiving yourself, and that in fact you need to act now. Surely you have heard the saying, who wants is looking for opportunities, who does not want excuses. So, most people live the life of losers because they can't make a decision at the right moment and get down to business. That's how they release the opportunity. The successful ones, on the contrary, act quickly and decisively. Pay attention, decisively and precisely when they see an opportunity. From the outside it seems that they are lucky. In fact, it is the ability to see a great opportunity, make a quick decision, and immediately start acting. Do what you need, and when you need it. Do it now. Get used to it. It's not an important weekend or evening. Are you tired, or do you think it's a small thing? Success doesn't know the word afterwards, because most of the time it's never. If you do not develop the qualities necessary to achieve success, which I am talking about in this film, then others will use the fruits of your labor, and you will be a wonderful, excellent hard worker, who turns like a squirrel in a wheel all his life. Many people work hard all day long without days off on vacation, but they got rich. Unfortunately, most barely support the pants. And others do not live at work, find time for themselves and for their family, and at the same time manage to become multimillionaires. I must say that hard work alone is not enough to become a rich man. To become rich, to achieve success, you need to learn not to miss opportunities. This quality can be developed in yourself, pumped up like muscles. Now the question arises, how to do this? Right now, listen to my words. You will learn the simplest, effective way to learn how to see favorable opportunities and use them. Start with minor daily chores. Make a decision faster, what to buy, what to wear, what to eat, and so on. Sometimes we get stuck on nonsense. Don't delay, push yourself. And now the most important thing. If you learn to make decisions quickly on such familiar matters, then your speeds will increase in relation to large and important tasks. Deliberately accelerate yourself. Do this for at least 2 weeks, and you will see good progress. Please note, I'm not talking about whether it's the right decision or not. This is the key factor that slows everything down. People are afraid to make a mistake, and therefore delay with the answer. Don't do that. Make a decision and act, even if it turns out later that your decision was wrong. Over time, you will develop not only the speed of decision-making, but also a flair that will help you make the right decision. And now, I have a question for you. How was your day today? Are you satisfied with the results? Did you do something that brought you closer to your goal? It's a big mistake to wait for the right moment. Time is an extremely valuable resource. You can't get it back. If you do not take the necessary actions now, at the moment, you will not get the desired results in the future. Just hoping that everything will be fine in the future, if things are not going well now, is a great self-defense. There won't be a million in your life just because time has passed. If you are putting something off for later, then you are simply deciding yourself on another opportunity to become successful and rich. Do not hesitate. Do not try to find the perfect solution. Act immediately, decisively, and persistently. If you want something, if you have set a goal and made a decision, act right now. This is a great moment to take a confident step towards your success. Is there anyone who throws a dart all day, will not hit the target once? Cicero. Principle 8. Obsession. When I studied at the military school, I was in the national team. Speaking for his unit, he ran along the obstacle course. And so I go first. There is a ruined bridge ahead. You need to jump, bracing yourself for a moment. Sparks from the eyes. The magician is a wild pain. I immediately fell down. I see an opponent overtaking me, who breathed into the back of my neck the whole distance. I stood up, gritting my teeth, gathering all my strength. I overtook him. I was the first to reach the finish line. I won. After the finish, my friends took me to the infirmary. It turned out that I tore my ligaments due to an incorrect landing. I went in a cast for another month. Now the question arises, where did I get the strength? Interestingly, even in order to do something simple, for example, to take a cup, you must have motivation. You start doing something only when you really want to. For example, drink a cup of fresh coffee or become a millionaire. There is one important detail here. Not every desire leads to action. In order for you to start acting under the influence of your desire, it must be strong enough. At the same time, the more you want to get what you want, the more active and determined you are here. Remember how sometimes you want to go on vacation, bask in the sun, and for this every day you get up early in the morning and go to boring work. And all this in order to plunge into this festive atmosphere for just 1 week and not forget. That's how longing works. This is familiar to everyone. There is nothing for me to surprise you with here, but then listen carefully. When you focus on your desire, you immediately get a powerful surge of strength. What is really important is to always have a goal, whatever that goal may be. Because then you get interested. It makes you happy when you wake up in the morning and go to work on achieving your goal. Then, it doesn't matter that you have to work hard. Then, it doesn't matter to you that you need to study for many hours every day. It doesn't matter that you need to train every day. Whatever it takes to make your dream a reality. It gives you happiness, courage, a sense of accomplishment. The pursuit of a goal gives you all this, because only this is really important. It happens that at the very beginning, there is no desire to do anything at all. What should I do? There is one proven way, I will tell you now. You need to start acting, doing what is necessary to achieve your goal, through I can't, through I don't want to. And after a while, you will have an interest and desire to continue what you started. You will have a vigor and energy that is many times greater than the state that you had at the very beginning. Now, your desire is constantly pushing you forward and not allowing you to stop. The passionate desire to get what you want is a powerful force that nothing can resist. It is it that fills a person with the energy that is necessary to achieve a goal, no matter how incredible it may seem. This is because a burning desire, or in other words passion, gives us access to limitless hidden reserves that each of us has. Remember where I started, I was able to come first even with torn ligaments. All this is due to the fact that I was simply obsessed with my goal to win. I longed for it, and therefore nothing could stop me. We don't know what achievements we are capable of. Sometimes you can surprise yourself. So, if you try your best, if you act to the limit of your abilities, if you go beyond your best achievements, you will be able to break existing records. Someone jumped 2 meters, and someone jumped to 20. If someone lifts 1,000 pounds, why can't I try to lift 1,100 pounds? You always need to try to go beyond the existing achievements. Never set limits. We don't know the limits of our capabilities. You have to surprise yourself. It's important. Usually people do not have enough enthusiasm to achieve their goals, and therefore, they have no interest in giving their best. As a result, they get mediocre results. I will tell you a big secret. The problem of the majority is not in the absence of the necessary energy of abilities, but in the absence of an unbearable desire and a firm intention to achieve their goal, which just awakens the inner dormant forces of a person. Your passion, your enthusiasm, are the key to your inner strength and abilities. It is the power of desire that activates your will, and then you literally have superpowers. You become incredibly energetic, determined, quick-witted, persistent, fast. Follow your desire. Let the passion to achieve the goal fill every cell of your being. Kindle this fire of life inside yourself. Start acting. You can achieve any goal if you really want to. In any case, it is important to determine priorities. Otherwise, the secondary, although necessary, will take away all the strength and will not let you get to the main thing. Igor Vasilievich Kurchatov. Principle 9: Concentration. I want to invite a person to this stage who helped Sinji Global Forum to take place as a project. A person who sincerely believed in the idea and actively helped to implement it. Philanthropist, entrepreneur, business coach. A surprisingly versatile person, the president of the international holding company, Lives Good, Roman Vasilenko. Good afternoon, my beloved city. As a child, I was very shy, and when guests came to us, I hid in another room. And here's what's interesting. To date, I have made so many meetings of presentations that it is impossible to count. Now I'm speaking in front of thousands of audiences. Actually, I have been surprised more than once how the myth that he is so gifted by nature, so everything works out for her, has so firmly stuck in people's minds. It is this that is not credited with the opportunity to achieve success. At the same time, thousands of unrecognized geniuses and unclaimed talents are barely making ends meet. They constantly complain that no one appreciates their talent and no one notices. Isn't it amazing? It can be assumed that the secret of success is in energy. Many people are very proactive. I think you've met them. They're busy with something all the time. Have they achieved anything worthwhile? As you can see, it's not about talents and energy. The question arises, why do some always get what they want, while others have to be content with little? There is a very good proverb, you chase two hares, you won't catch one. Do you understand what's going on? People set themselves too many goals at one time and do not achieve any of them because they disperse their energy instead of focusing it in one direction. The greatest success can be achieved only when you concentrate all your thoughts and actions on achieving your goal. It is the ability to concentrate on your goal that is the most valuable skill of a successful person. So, in order to achieve what you want, prioritize and define your main goal. For example, if you are determined to become a millionaire, then this goal should be the main one in relation to everyone else. Now everything you think about and everything you do should be aimed at creating a capital of $1 million, and this should continue until you achieve what you are striving for. I know that this idea may seem too bold to you. Of course, our life is more multifaceted, and we need to strive to ensure that all its spheres are in harmony. In addition to finances, there is also family, health, and personal development. But do you understand what's going on? To achieve a truly ambitious goal, you will need to prioritize and focus your attention for a while only on what you want to achieve the most. Once you reach one goal, you can switch all your attention to another. Choosing the main goal and maximum concentration on achieving it is a key moment on the way to success. If you are already interested in how to develop this valuable skill, then you are asking the right question. But first, I want to warn you about something. Of course, to get something worthwhile, you need to put a lot of effort. For this reason, people who do not have perseverance give up what they started. They quickly give up. But if they showed perseverance and patience, they would be able to cope with all the difficulties and get what they wanted. Successful people know that you don't need to pick an apple green. It will fall into your hands when it ripens. Remind yourself of this whenever you are seized by a tooth of haste or a fever of greed. I hope you have already realized how important patience and perseverance are. Develop these useful qualities in yourself. Whatever you do, do not back down until you achieve the result you want to get. Do you know what a big mistake many people make? They begin to do something while not clearly imagining what they want to get as a result. An adventure to get involved in a fight, and then we'll see. Is this the way to nowhere? So people just throw away the most valuable resources they have: time, strength, and money. Of course, before you get down to business, you need to understand whether it is worth doing it at all, whether you will get what you want. And when you have decided, act decisively and persistently. Do not look back, do not doubt. And most importantly, do not give up what you started until you finish everything to the end. Why is it so important to finish what you started? The thing is that retreating time after time, you constantly weaken your resolve. You stop believing that you can achieve what you want. You stop believing that you can do anything at all. Therefore, never allow yourself to be led by your weakness. Do not give in to provocations. Come on, it's nonsense. It's little things. It doesn't mean anything. There are no small things here, and even a small digression or indulgence has a very negative effect on your mood. Start by training yourself to do one thing at a time. Concentrate all your thoughts and actions on its implementation. Do everything calmly, steadily, without fuss and haste. Take on a new case when you finish the first one. Instead of doing a few things somehow, It's better to do one thing well. When we talk about concentration, it is very important to know one thing. I want you to listen to me with all your attention. Today, it is widely believed that you need to be a multitasking person, that is, to do several things at the same time. Many people believe that the more things they don't have time to do in 1 minute, the more effective they are. But don't jump to conclusions. It's amazing, but all this is not at all harmless, as it may seem at first glance. If you stay in a state for a long time, when your consciousness is dispersed, and simultaneously solve 100 tasks, then as a result, you weaken your will very much. This manifests itself in the fact that you feel irritated, tired, and empty, like a squeezed lemon. So, remember, the effectiveness of each department that you do is important, not the number of completed cases. If you are talking on the phone, then fully focus on this conversation. If you are writing something, then fully concentrate on it. And do not get distracted. When you buy groceries in the store, then do just that. Do not talk on the phone at this time, do not listen to music, do not chat with other people. Yes, even do such simple things with full concentration. So you will constantly develop your concentration skill. And not only that, to develop concentration, control your speech. Before you say something, think first. During communication, make sure that the conversation does not deviate from the topic. Learn to listen carefully and not interrupt the interlocutor. Focus your attention on what the person is saying, not on your thoughts. Constantly monitor your body. Do not scratch, do not rub your eyes or face, do not pull something in your hands, do not shake your leg. Many people do not control themselves at all. Their body seems to live a separate life. Take it all under your control. Day after day, do what is necessary to achieve your goal, and strive to ensure that each of your actions is effective. One success leads to another. Thanks to this, your every day becomes productive. In the end, you will always get what you want. Our essence is reflected in our repetitive actions. Hence, perfection is not an action, but a habit. Aristotle. Principle 10 Habits. Of course, you've heard the saying habit is second nature. The older we stop, the more habits we have. Watch yourself. Each of us has habitual thoughts, habitual actions, and habitual emotions. We go to the same shops, eat the same food, travel the same route, spend the same weekend, and make sure we do it on New Year's Eve. And of course, the results of such vital activity at best remain at the same level, or, which is more common, over time, everything comes to a complete decline. And all because with age, especially if a person does not engage in their own development, many become slaves to their bad habits. Therefore, when you have decided to achieve your goal, you must learn to eradicate your bad habits and develop useful ones. Remember once and for all, you can get rid of any habit, no matter how strong it may be. Now you will understand why. Even a strong habit can live while you feed it. And she gets food every time you repeat a familiar thought, emotion, or action. As soon as you start using your will to act in the opposite way, then your bad habit loses energy and gradually weakens. If you decide to get rid of a bad habit, then it means for good and forever. Those who smoked and quit know perfectly well that just one cigarette a day is self-deception. You either do it or you don't, otherwise you won't achieve the result. So, to get rid of a bad habit and replace it with a useful one, you only need to know two things. First of all, make a firm and unshakable decision to immediately do what is the opposite of the habits that you want to eliminate. Are you used to looking under your nose or around during a conversation? Now train yourself to look at the interlocutor. Are you used to constantly complaining about how difficult it is for you? Stop supporting these thoughts. Immediately switch your attention to your goal and start thinking that everything is working out for you. You're used to not finishing what you started, now you're finishing it. As soon as the thought flashed through your head, oh well, I'll finish it tomorrow. Immediately tell yourself I'm doing everything now, as we decide. And keep working until you do everything. And you just have to do only what you have decided. Not what you're used to, but what you've decided. Do. Why not do it right now? You don't need to think about everything again or doubt, you have already decided everything. There is a solution for this, so that then you do not waste time and energy on the same issues. So first, to get rid of a negative habit, always think and do the opposite. Then, thanks to your work, the bad habit will be replaced by a useful one. So that instead of an old bad habit, you have a good one and get stronger, you need to show unbending perseverance. But is it enough? There is also a second thing, without which you cannot beat a bad habit. The thing is that you need to be persistent and patient for some time. It is believed that the habit is formed 21 days. There is one nuance here. You should stick to the new habit 21 days continuously. That is, if you did everything in a new way for 20 days, and on the 21st, you gave up, then start all over again. It is useless to force this process, to overexert yourself at the start. It will not help to get the result faster. Not only will you not get what you want, but you will also strengthen your loser complex. It's not working out for me anyway. Therefore, if you decide, then go to the end, or better yet, don't even start. Do not give up. Do not weaken your concentration, no matter how hard it is. When you start moving in the right direction, only the first steps are difficult. Then it becomes easier, because you discover your inner strength, and support from the outside comes to you. Who does always gets help at the moment when it is most needed. Life itself supports you. The one who controls himself the most. Seneca. Principle 11. Control. Yes, if I had known what I will tell you next, I would not have made these terrible mistakes. Those were the scariest days of my life. I learned a lot then, and I will share the most valuable with you. Let's do a little test. I assure you, you will be very surprised when you find out the results. Imagine the situation. As usual, you came to work in the morning. The day is great, the sun is shining. I don't know how important this is for you, but in St. Petersburg, where I live, the sun is a holiday in itself. You're excited. Today is Friday, and you have big plans for the evening. And suddenly you are called to the personnel department. You read the order, you were fired. Everything is in a fog, thoughts are confused. This can't be happening. The bell rings. The bank demands to repay the debt today, otherwise it will take away your housing. Another bell rings. This is your pregnant wife. She's panicking. She also got a call from the bank. Suddenly you've lost everything. From now on, you have no job, you have no money. It seemed to you all the time that you would still have time to dig up. There is no one to expect help from. Are you ready for this turn of events? You have a backup option. Are you hedging your bets? Have you developed a plan B for such a case? Or have you never thought about it, as I did at the time? That's why I made serious mistakes, and ended up on the edge of the abyss. Then listen carefully, so that you don't fall into similar traps, and learn to emerge victorious from difficult situations. Some time ago, I started a joint business with my friend. He became my partner. Our business developed very quickly. As they say, we caught the trend, millions of revolutions went. And here, I made a mistake for the first time. The thing is that at that time, I did not understand human nature well enough, and simply put, I did not understand that many people are driven by fear and greed. It was this lesson that life taught me then. As you know, money gives power. The more money, the more power. And this is a real test. People lose their minds. They begin to think of themselves as omnipotent. Since then, I have seen more than once how people who have bitten off more than they can swallow have suffered a complete collapse. Because of megalomania, they lost the ability to think sensibly, lost their sense of reality. My friend got drunk on a lot of money and the power that does not give. Greed pushed him to take over our business and leave me with nothing. And how to remove a partner from the business. Compromise him, and then blackmail and threaten him. That's exactly what he did. Everything happened instantly. I didn't have time to blink an eye. I was faced with a fateful choice. Just imagine, on the one hand, a business with a turnover of hundreds of millions. On the other, the safety of my family. Now it's hard to believe that just a few years ago, I was at the bottom. My family was left without money, without housing. I lost everything. There's nothing left for me. I had nothing to feed my family with. It was January of the year 2014. Today people are wondering, Roman, how come you have nothing left? Did you have to have any savings at all? Here's the thing. Start a business with your friend. I made a second serious mistake. I have invested all my savings, all my resources, in our joint business. That's all I had. In euphoria, you can overestimate your strength and not pay attention to very important details. As a result, this can lead to disastrous consequences. That's exactly what I didn't attach due importance to at the time. That is why you must develop the ability to think rationally and critically. This is necessary in order to soberly assess reality and make an adequate and considered decision. But that's not the whole story. As you understand, these mistakes could have ruined my life, but thanks to one important thing, I was not only able to get out of that pit, but also reached heights that I could not even dream of before. Listen further. Once on the edge of the abyss, I began to reflect. The money was stolen, okay, it's a lucrative business. I also experienced the humiliation of slander. But what to do next? Start taking revenge. Is it time, strength, emotions, money? Or, he could spend the same forces to create a new business. When I soberly assessed the situation, I saw that in both cases, the financial and intellectual costs are the same, and I made a decision. Most importantly, do we know how to control ourselves? By controlling yourself, you control everyone and everything. First of all, start observing yourself and do it constantly. We used to think it was very difficult. However, it's just a matter of habit. It's like driving a car. The driver is always watching the road. He never loses control. But at first, it was given to him with great difficulty, and now he does not even notice it. Every time you feel annoyed, show all your will and patience that you are capable of, not to succumb to these destructive emotions. And one more thing, do you remember where we started? If you don't have a plan B, then start preparing it right now. As the wise proverb says, prepare a sleigh in summer, a cart in winter. Take care of yourself and your family. No one will do it for you. When I was faced with a choice of what to do next, I decided to start all over again, but this time I knew something. If you are going to get involved in something new or take a risk, then think carefully, and then think again. Collect all possible information, weigh the pros and cons. Many people believe that they know enough. It weakens their vigilance, and therefore, they become easy prey for scammers and adventurers. Fortunately, we can learn from the mistakes of others, and I hope you have drawn the right conclusions from my story. The most important thing is not to start anything until you understand the rules, and always have a backup option. Iron rusts without finding its use, stagnant water rots or freezes in the cold, and the human mind, without finding its use, languishes. Leonardo da Vinci. Principle 12 Development. It is known that the fastest and most effective way to learn something is to find someone who has already achieved success in this, and repeat after him. Therefore, quite often you can hear the opinion that you definitely need a mentor to achieve success. Well, here's what's interesting. My example clearly proves the opposite. Oddly enough, I didn't have one particular mentor. I constantly watched successful people and learned something from everyone. I copied them into their thoughts, their behavior and attitude to difficulties. As a result, I can name hundreds of people as my teachers. Definitely, you are much luckier than me. This film is the best mentor for you. Step by step, it leads you to success. I want to draw your attention to the fact that a mentor is not a babysitter or an overseer who distributes magic kicks. If that's what you're waiting for, you'll be very disappointed to hear what I'm going to tell you. The mentor can only point out the direction, show an example, but you will have to act. No mentor can replace your burning desire to achieve the goal. No mentor will do your job for you. Development does not happen by itself. This is your task, your responsibility. You can become whatever you want, at any moment of your life. If you have any weaknesses or shortcomings today, then it is in your power to change everything. Are you a shy person? Developing self-confidence. Don't you know how to handle money? Learn. All this is in your power. You form your own personality every day, every minute. Next, I will tell you about 2 important qualities that are necessary for every successful person. Willpower. It is generally believed that someone has more developed it, and someone has less. This is an erroneous opinion. Every person has willpower. People who achieve their goals know how to use willpower, while others simply did not discover these opportunities for themselves. Many people ask where to start developing willpower. Here are 3 simple tips. Start applying them right now. The first, it doesn't matter what task you are facing or what kind of work you need to do. Make it a rule. Do it in the most thorough way. At the same time, you should understand that you are doing this in order to develop your willpower. The second, develop the habit of focusing as much as possible on completing the task and bringing any task that you undertake to the end. Third, once every few days, do something that seems difficult and unpleasant to you. This develops your ability to use your will when you need it. The more often you use your will, the stronger it becomes. Even the most insignificant things done in this way noticeably strengthen your will. After a few weeks of constant practice, you will develop the confidence that whatever business you would not undertake, you will succeed. Your will become firm if you make it so yourself. You will need to make an effort and be patient to get a decent result. Initiative is another very important quality of a successful person. Lack of initiative is very often the reason that people do not achieve success. They are waiting for instructions and orders. They need advice and magic kicks. Despite the fact that these are smart and talented people, they spend their whole lives in poverty and despondency. From the outside, it may seem that they are unlucky. Do you know why this is actually happening? They just don't show the necessary initiative. I think you've seen it more than once. When seemingly more worthy people have not been promoted for years, and their colleagues, who seem to be not so smart, quickly step up the career ladder. They say about such people that they are arrogant, punchy, that they are lucky, but in reality, this is the ability to act in their own interests, and this helps them achieve more success than their modest, but in fact without initiative colleagues. You know that nothing in this life is given for nothing. It is naive to think that success is achieved by those who are lucky. Only those who do not waste energy in vain, but act decisively and boldly. Only those deserve success. Remember, you and only you are responsible for success in your life, and you are quite capable of achieving this. Do not expect help from others. Do not rely on luck and luck. Train yourself to be an initiative person, to think and act for yourself. I want to draw your attention to the fact that education and intelligence have nothing to do with success. In order to become a millionaire, you do not need to have an IQ of 140 or be a Nobel laureate. What does this mean for you? To become successful, you need to learn a lot, and learn a lot, but not just to walk on the tops. You need to be able to isolate really useful things from the entire information flow and transfer this knowledge from the passive state, I heard it, to the active state, I use it. There is no return to dreams and years. Alexander Sergeyevich Pushkin. I often see one mistake made by those who strive for success and wealth. People begin to apply the principles of success, and they begin to succeed. Their lives are beginning to change for the better. They achieve the goals they set at the very beginning, but everything ends with these first results. They got what was really the limit of their dreams. For example, people say that they would like to become millionaires, but in fact, they would just like to get out of debt. Having received this, they calm down inside and believe that they can do nothing further. Everything just goes by itself, and they don't have stable, correct habits yet. After a while, everything goes back to where it all started. Then, these people are surprised and say that these principles do not work. They did not become millionaires and did not bring their standard of living to the one they wanted. You can say anything you want about millions, about luxury houses and yachts, but if you don't believe inwardly that you deserve all this, then you won't be able to get it. Usually, if a person is rich and successful, he understands that he himself created this success. But if a person is a loser, then he believes that he is not to blame for this. It's just the way life turned out. He's unlucky, he has no talents and abilities, and everyone around is to blame for the fact that he is what he is. Parents are to blame, teachers, the government, husband or wife, bosses at work. Almost never will you hear the words "I'm lazy, not for initiative, slow. I choose entertainment instead of achieving a goal. I give up and don't do what is needed when the goal is one step away. I whine and complain instead of looking for solutions and answers to my questions. I know what to do, but I just don't do it. And in general, I don't do anything of what is needed to achieve success." Have you noticed that successful people are very similar to you? They live on the same planet Earth, in the same cities. They have the same biological structure. They have 24 hours a day and 12 months a year. They sleep because they need to recuperate and rest just like you do. They eat, and in order to move in space, they use cars and airplanes, like all people. They use phones to talk to those who are not near them. You do that too, don't you? Successful people are not cyborgs with the ability to teleport, the ability to feed on solar energy. They are very similar to everyone else. They are the same as you. So what is the reason for their success? What is the key difference between a successful person and a loser? These people believe in themselves resolutely and unshackably. That's why they set big goals and do great things. They know how to use their resources. People who have achieved success have learned not to waste their energy in vain. Put all your energy into what you are doing. Do not be distracted by anything else. Do not expect quick results. Around the person who does something, there will always be a crowd of critics and idly staggering. Don't pay attention to their comments, don't try to impress them, and don't prove anything to them. Put all your energy into achieving your goals. If you are 17 years old, you should have an understanding of what you are striving for. If you are 10 years old, you should have an understanding of what you are striving for. Therefore, I strongly recommend people to understand themselves, not to be constantly on the internet. Put aside your smartphone and other gadgets, and take the time to calmly reflect on what you want to achieve in life, who you want to be, what your life should be in 10 years. You must have a plan, because then the work will bring you joy. Don't underestimate yourself, and don't overestimate others. You are made of the same stuff as the most successful people who have lived on Earth. You have great potential, abilities and talents. You are an unusual person, and ordinary people do not watch such films. Start acting right now, applying the principles I've told you about. Go boldly to your goal, and believe in yourself with all your heart. Declare to the world that you are worthy, and the world will agree with you. In the universe, in this mighty boundless universe, there is everything you can only dream of. You are a part of this universe, and it will definitely have everything you want for you. I'm a millionaire. Determined and courageous, purposeful. I am acting now with content and concentration. I form my own habits, control my life, and constantly develop. I always achieve everything I want.